Euro USD, GBP USD, all of them are tanking in towards the lows as we've been discussing, and we can currently see that the overall daily fractal low here has broken on euro dollar, meaning that these two imbalance candles are currently in control and are potentially going to push the market down lower. Now, for myself, this area of demand, which we pretty much had previously, and from where a lot of people were looking for longs, has now failed, and the overall daily fractal low has now broken, meaning that this overall area of imbalance is currently in control, and from there I'll be looking for more shorts in towards the downside. Now, today is a massive fundamental day for the dollar, guys. We could just start seeing massive spikes in either direction. But what I will be doing today is sitting this one out and waiting for Monday. If on Monday, let's say we are trading just around this consolidative price action and we retrace in towards these overall two imbalance candles, then on Monday I will be looking for a short position to eventually target that overall NFP low. Okay, so that for myself is the overall game plan. Not much has changed, to be very honest. Still, this area of supply here is in control, which broke market structure in towards the downside here, and furthermore the dollar is still moving bullish, hence why I'm looking for those Euro USD shorts, despite the fact that the market has retraced already into discount prices. So obviously swing low, swing high. Here we had the break of structure. Here we had the liquidity low where liquidity got grabbed, market retraced into discount, and then we had the bullish order flow start to form in towards the highs. However, we had a very strong area of supply here that broke market structure down here, and therefore there is potential for one more push in towards the downside, as I don't believe that this is a strong low due to it being based on NFP. So that is the overall game plan that I have for myself. Overall, the daily fractal break took place. So now in the lower time frame, being for example the 4 hour, we can start looking for potential further downside from that area of supply in towards the lows. Now again, this trade could be invalidated, or this trade idea could be invalidated if the news decides to push Euro USD up higher, and this could then just be, for example, liquidity grab to then fuel the next move up, and then on next week I'll simply be looking for a long again. So my main kind of like directional bias is decided by what the daily fractal currently is doing. So as long as the daily fractal remains bearish, I'm happy to look for a short from these imbalances. If we see a massive candle up, this becomes demand, then next week I'll be looking for some continuation plays. It all comes down to what is going to be said today. Now, going into the dollar index, the dollar index at the moment has been moving perfectly in line with our expectation, guys. Let's start on the monthly time frame, where we can still see that this overall ascending channel here on the dollar index has been playing out with the 1, the 2, the third touch. Then as soon as we get that third touch, we see the massive bullish candlestick over here, engulfing candle, getting a lot of buyers in initially. So that is a dangerous candle often to go long on, because a lot of people are putting their stop loss underneath the low. That's the only thing that I'm kind of keeping in the back of my mind, that maybe we could come back down to hunt that overall low. But for now, it is indicating that there is a lot of bullish momentum. Then we go into the weekly time frame, and on the weekly, what you can very clearly see here is that we had a weekly fractal break in towards the highs. Sub for the buy here is then in control. So from a weekly fractal perspective, we're looking for that further upside push. Now, the overall target for that weekly fractal push is obviously the overall NFP high. So I'm looking for that overall NFP high to get targeted, as that is from myself just a news push down. I want to see that get targeted. So I want to see that overall continuation take place. Now, guys, a massive thing has happened here, because first of all, you guys know that the overall daily fractal is bullish, right? From the fractal low in towards the fractal high. We retrace in towards the daily imbalance candle, which is in the weekly demand zone as well. And this is the overall sub for the big buy up. Now, the market retraces in towards the downside, right? With kind of like this descending price action. Go to the 4 hour, and what you're going to be able to see here is that we have a beautiful kind of like descending channel slash wedge, where again you have the first drive in towards the downside, you have the second drive, and then you have the third drive, and then again reversal upwards takes place. That is how you could have pretty much timed this overall reversal pattern here in towards the highs, as you have again the 1, 2, the 3. Now, the overall order flow that I've been talking about for quite some time is now shifted, in the sense that this here was like your area of consolidation, extended to the right, and then you have supply that pushed the market down lower. Then again, what do we have over here? We have the consolidation box, extend that to the right. What happened? Price was fighting, guys, within that supply zone, but now it has broken these overall highs. So what I'm now looking for is the overall continuation play in towards the highs, at least back up in towards this overall high here of around 99,200, and then eventually also into where? Well, in towards that overall NFP high. So that is for myself kind of the game plan at the moment. So I'm following that, and I'll be monitoring what happens for the rest of the week. For now, this daily demand zone here is in control, this daily imbalance, and if we do retrace that, it for me is just another opportunity to look for longs, and that would mean that Euro USD would then retrace into that supply zone, right? Because if the dollar goes down, Euro USD goes up. So if the dollar goes into there, then Euro USD would go into this daily imbalance, and then inside of there, we look for the confirmation to then go long on the dollar and go short on Euro USD. So that for myself is the overall game plan. That would be another entry possibility to then target the NFP high, and then, for example, we could start seeing some downside pressure again or whatsoever. We'll reevaluate the situation from there. Now, GBPUSD, man, not gonna lie, should have held this trade longer, but that's what we always tend to say after seeing a beautiful setup play out. You guys know it. Man, called the absolute top, didn't call the absolute bottom, let's put it that way. But overall, again, very nice price action, very, very clean price action. And yeah, it's moving smoothly, smooth sailing. Overall, you guys know it, a lot of ascending lows here, a lot of ascending lows here. And then obviously as well, this is the NFP low. So there's still a lot of room to go for GBPUSD in towards the downside. For now, the 4-hour supply here is in control. Let's see if that can push the market down lower again. Overall, the daily still has a lot of potential to push down lower as the overall daily swing structure, guys. So this is the swing breakdown, swing high, swing low, market retraced into premium pricing, and it took out this liquidity bump, this liquidity high. So I'm looking for overall GBPUSD just to continue down lower. So every single time the 4-hour fractal retraces, then that is just an opportunity to potentially look for short position. So this for now is supply that is in control. So inside of that supply zone, you could look for another short. Obviously, if it does push up higher again, we also have this supply zone open over here. This is actually a nicer area of supply due to the fact that this wick over here kind of like took out all of these highs and then the overall drop off happened. So if we do retracing towards there, also look for confirmation then for another sell in towards the downside is what I would be doing. But yeah, overall, if you're in GU, congratulations. Great, great trade, which we've been discussing for a long time. And overall, it still makes sense to push down lower. We could see a reaction here as kind of like we've swept this low over here of this daily imbalance candle. So that could cause somewhat of a reaction. So I'll be monitoring that. Also, we took out, or did we not, this low over here. So yeah, expecting somewhat of a retrace. Let's keep an eye on it. Overall, this is a nice area of supply to look for some more shorts once again. Now, moving on into AUDUSD. AUDUSD in itself is consolidating here at the NFP low. What a beautiful target that was. So you can really see that that NFP low is kind of like messing with AUDUSD overall. As you can see, it's just been consolidating, waiting for the news announcements that are going to be taking place today. So I'll just be monitoring this and reevaluating. At the moment, I'm not really going to be trading this overall low. It could provide us with a pullback in towards the highs if the 4-hour fractal were to shift. So if the current fractal high breaks, then maybe a pullback trade could take place. But that is then something definitely for next week. I'm not definitely going to get into shorts or into longs from here. We'll need to wait for kind of like better price action to take place. At the moment, we're at a low. It's better to stay out. The overall move this week has taken place, and yeah, for now it's just gambling on what would happen next. So therefore, we really need to wait for price to redevelop itself into something better. But again, like if it were to break the fractal high and momentum starts, then you could look for potential long. Otherwise, just let it dump even lower, and then we'll just look for a pullback trade from lower levels. But I'm not looking to short after already what has been, what is it, like a 150 pip move on AUDUSD. Going into NZD USD, pretty similar to AU, in the sense that it's already dumped all the way down. The move has taken place, and for now, if we just clean up this chart, all you're pretty much looking for is eventually the pullback trade to take place. So obviously here we have our overall area of demand. This is a massive area of demand, so you can't just go long with the demand zone itself. So what we're going to do inside of that demand zone is wait for price action to show that it wants to actually pull back. The overall order flow for now is this as your area of supply. So obviously you want to be looking to trade from this demand zone in towards this supply zone. So I'll be looking at the 4-hour time frame to see if anything shows that it wants to reverse up higher. But for now, yeah, just let it kind of like redevelop itself. This is very messy price action, very choppy, and there's no reason to be in this trade or in a trade over here. So just wait for it to either push down lower and then kind of like form some descending price action, which can then show us that it wants to head up higher, or wait for it today to skyrocket up higher, and then inside of here we could look for another short down. So that's what I have for now on NZD USD. Then the dollar, so let's say the USD Swiss, USD Yen, Gold, USD CAD. USD Swiss pushed up higher, still in a range for myself, not very interesting pair. USD yen has started to break out of its range. So yeah, looks good to potentially push up higher if it has some more momentum against this overall high, because this high over here is kind of like the swing high of the overall range. So for now, this is the range low and this is the range high. So what you now need to understand is that if we draw this in as a range, once the range high and the range low are swiped, it could reverse. So swiping this overall range high could now cause a reversal down lower, and swiping the range low could cause a reversal back up higher, as it previously did over here, where we swept the range high, reversal down, we swept the range low, reversal back up. So now the range has kind of like expanded. So keep that in mind, that this could cause now a hard reversal back down in towards the low. So I'm not looking to buy this yet. Only if we would have a little bit more momentum, then I'll just start buying on buy stops. So let's say we shoot up again, then look for reaccumulation, and then just look to get in on buys over here. I would look to get on buys on the very first breakout of the range. Then USDCAD, that has been the best buy out of them all, has been trickling up higher and higher slowly. I talked about this last week a lot, or at the beginning of the week. Yeah, overall, what can I say? Demand has been in control over here, pushed the market up higher beautifully, and ever since, yeah, you can just follow the momentum. So again, this is kind of like what I'm referring to with USDJPY, where USDJPY is currently trading over here. So it could just come back down again, manipulate a bit, consolidate a bit, but there's always going to be a later opportunity. For example, on this buy stop over here or this buy stop over here, these are kind of like the better trades in my opinion to take, as opposed to trading the very first breakout where price can still be very manipulative. But overall, USDCAD, very beautiful price action, and yeah, congrats if you are in it. We're now reaching the upper weekly supply zone over here, where we could start to see some slowdown here on USDCAD, so do keep that in mind, that there could be somewhat of a pullback starting to form on yeah, USDCAD. So let's see what happens inside of there. For now, that is my main focus, to see if we can potentially get a pullback. And then, of course, we have gold. So gold has been a little bit manipulative as well. Overall, a very strange week with a lot of news. Yesterday, we saw a massive spike down. This was announced after the European Union and the United States had a trade deal. Therefore, gold dumped in towards the lows, because trade deals are obviously positive for peace in the world. And what does gold not benefit from? It doesn't benefit from peace, because when times of uncertainty are there, that is when gold tends to push up higher. Well, it came back exactly into this demand zone and then flew up again. And then obviously this was kind of like the demand zone to look for longs from. But for now, I would definitely just kind of stay out of gold and yeah, wait for it to really choose its direction. Maybe another break in towards the highs. I am looking for longs, but maybe another break in towards the highs, and then I'll start looking for longs on the overall breakout momentum back up in towards this high over here, which is for me kind of like the beginning of this overall wedge formation. So I'm waiting for the next breakout, and then I'll get into longs in between 33.52 in towards 3,400 approximately. So that is where I'm looking to get into longs. Not looking to get into longs here, but more over here. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic trading day and a great weekend. Thanks for watching. And yeah, it was a great week. Hope you guys enjoyed this week as well with myself, and looking forward to Monday. Thanks, guys.